Speaking of Yoruba, this is something interesting regarding Blacks in Brazil. So I was told, so if you guys can explain this to me, so that I was told or I read somewhere that um, people from Yoruba, Nigeria, they went to Bahia and people from Angola went to Rio. Is that the case?
I think it's Bahia. In the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, Thiago, because you're from there. But I think at the beginning, all the people who were enslaved, they came straight to Bahia. All the
Yeah.
community, all the kingdoms, they went straight to Bahia in the first like century, let's say. So Bahia has all the cultures and all the tribes and all everything together. And then after that, the Portuguese colonies, they started to explore the other cities down below Bahia, and they accessed São Paulo and Rio. And from there, they already had killed most of Yoruba people from the original place.
But I was
So
told that they were came from Angola. Most of the people from Angola went to Rio. Is that true?
there's more people from Angola in Rio. Yeah, like you can recognize and address them, and just for the culture, just for the manifestation on the cult, on the religion, you can understand that they brought it from Angola. Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I was to think the Rio and Salvador was the same people. A lot of
Yeah,
people, but the
yeah,
same people.
yeah. But in the process, like, of course, it was happening wars in Africa when the slavery was like happening. So they start off like dizimate. I don't know if there's a word for that in English, but em português eles começaram a dizimar algumas comunidades que eles começaram a capturar. No começo eles capturavam, traziam, até que eles começaram a se rebelar. É um processo diaspórico,
They
né?
captured
Muito
them and
complexo.
then they rebelled.
Yeah, it's a very complex diasporic process for like in Brazil. The colonies, they did a lot of shit. So it's very complicated to track the Black people past and to really understand, because
Yeah.
many cultures and many communities, they just lost every information from where they came from, and like everything they could keep, they kept, but it still is hard to find out where they came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly from Angola, they went first to Bahia, like any others, and then in Rio, that's for sure, a common sense that Angolan culture started to be like bright and shine and strong in Rio. So probably yes.
What's Angolan
I
culture?
didn't understand the last sentence.
What I say is that in the end of the day, the Angolan people, they are very much more like their culture. It's easier to find in Rio, so it makes you understand that probably they were the most people that came from Africa to Rio. I don't know if I was clear with that too, either. But anyhow,
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
hello.
Hi, everyone.
How's it going? We're talking about Africa
Diaspora.
and Brazil, and like where, like which part of Africa did the different regions come from? So like, and Junior was explaining that there's more of a centralization of like Angolans in Rio, and then more Yoruba, so Nigerian, and Salvador. But you want to know something interesting? This is an interesting fact that I learned while being here, is that there's a lot of slaves from Brazil that returned to Africa. And so a lot of them, so I guess they were freed or whatever, and then they just came to Africa. So they were in, I think some of them were in Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Nigeria, Ghana. And when I learned that because I was encountering people who had Brazilian, they were saying they were Brazilian. I was like, oh, that's weird. But a lot of them were well-to-do. And someone told me was because a lot of them were part of the slave trade after, even though they were trade. I mean, this is what I heard, so this is not for fact, so I need to look this up. But someone told me, because I was talking to this guy in Nigeria, he's like, yeah, a lot of them are wealthy because families were part of the slave trade. But in each of the countries, like the ex-Brazilian slaves, a lot of them were doing well, which was really interesting. But there's a big population of ex-Brazilians in Africa, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know the facts about the history, but what I know, it's funny what you said because we have here in Brazil a movie called, I don't know in English, Medida Provisória. It's like a provisory law that tells a story a little bit like this. It's about a law that the government states that
Same
invite
law.
this invite the Afro-descendant people here in Brazil to come back to Africa. Initially, this is a optional thing, but then after it turns a mandatory law. So the police and the government took the people and they have to get out of Brazil. Here we will be a white country only, and a story
Wow.
is amazing. I recommend you
Yeah.
to watch this because it's incredible and talks a little bit about this turn back to Africa.
It's
But
And
in this movie,
the movie director is Baiano. It's from here. It's from
yeah, Lázaro.
the
Yeah.
Lázaro Ramos.
It's some sort of
Oh,
some sort
Lázaro
of
Ramos is through
dystopia.
Bahia.
Lázaro Ramos from Bahia.
He looks very much Angolan. He looks very much.
But Bahia have a lot of descendants of Costa of Benin and Angola. We have Bahia was born Capoeira, né? And we call Capoeira from Angola. I have a little bit of, how can I say that? Afraid. I'm gonna say afraid to talk about African topics and topics about the past because we don't have common sense about the history. I'm not, how can I say that? Duvidando. Como é que eu digo isso? Duvidando, gente. I'm not, I trust in you, Junior. I trust in you, Danielle. You are my boyfriend. I trust you. But I went and see that paper. Who said that's for you? Because it's a crazy, Brazil is a crazy place to be a black man and talk about history. Here in Bahia, I like to see the favelas, not the favela, because I don't believe in one favela. I believe in a favela, about a favela in a place. I like to see favela like a resistance, and when you can see echoes as sounds of our history. Here in Bahia, we have the candomblé, we have the music. We have.
Can you explain what candomblé is?
Candomblé is a religion, is a Afro-Brazilian religion,
which originated from Nigeria, right?
Yes, it's like, but don't. Some
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Can I say something about that?
Some
it's complicated
specialists.
because, like, I'm sorry, it's just like the candomblé is based on the kingdoms, right? There's the queens and the kings that became like enlightened and became like God and goddess. And like in Angola, there's gods and goddess. In another countries, there's others. I think candomblé, it's like a mix, basically. It's like the purest juice, o puro suco of all this context of spirituality. So it's hard to try. That's all
I know old woman, a woman that have how can I say that? How can I say cargo in English? I don't know. So he have a job in an Afro-Brazilian religion. Candomblé is a I don't know if you know something about candomblé, but in candomblé, do you know me? Can you hear me? But in candomblé you have states and levels and
roles,
roles,
different roles.
And I
Yeah.
know this woman that recently was in Benin, and she is a student. I don't know how to say studiosa, but she studied a lot African religion.
She's a researcher.
A researcher. She was assistant from Pierre Verger. I don't know if you know Pierre Verger. Is a white photographer with a white safer syndrome, but a good guy that make a
The
lot
guy
of
that makes the big
uh,
one black and white pictures.
yeah, but
Okay.
but he make a great document about Benin and Salvador. The coincidence, she was her assistant, but it's not the point. She was in Benin, and she said to me, Tiago, there is no in one house, in a candomblé house, in a religion house, you don't have a Oshun, Oshumare. Yes, you have one godness, one god for one house. Here, me, Tiago, can be from Iemanjá and to Ianshu too, and maybe Yansan. But there, in the place where she was, it is only Oshun, only Oshala, only one. That's one of the difference. And here we have a difference and the difference because Candomblé, there are hymns in Candomblé, hymns, kingdoms. We call it kingdoms, something like this. Kingdom Quito, Kingdom Angola. You have the Ubanda, is something crazy with the Kardecism. And crazy, not crazy, but
Yeah.
have a lot of Kardecism and Spiritism. And it's very, 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 it's very interesting. It is a live document about the diaspora, I think, because you can see what we did here, here, the people that was arrested for here did it, the improvisation. I don't know how to say that, but it's not about improvisation. I think it's not about improvisation. It's an other culture, live, but with a lot to see about the past. My English terrible. Sorry, guys.
So this brings me to another question. What is Black Brazilians? Okay, do they feel a connection with Africa? For example, in America, like Black Americans, they say we're not. I don't know what you guys call yourselves, but we call ourselves Black in the States. And then some people refuse to call them African Americans because they're like, one, I'm not African, I don't know the culture or whatever. So in Brazil, what do Black people call themselves? And secondly, what do they see a connection to Africa? Do they does anybody call them like African Brazilians or anything like that? How is it in Brazil?
What
I think I can
see
answer
here,
that. Go ahead.
You can go.
No, I mean, I've been talking a lot. Just go ahead.
I was saying that here, what I noticed is that we use the term Afro-descendants. Yes, is a nomenclature, but we consider ourselves like Black, but I don't think it's the same Black that in the United States they use. And some like, I don't know how to say, maybe mestiço, algo like
Mestizos
black
mixed.
and brown.
Yeah.
Mixed around. And these two are considering Black people here. These two groups of people.
Let me add something. Like, there is many ways of calling Black people in Brazil, and most of them are kind of to offend. It's pejorative. So now I think we are how do I say to
Recently?
giving a new significance to the words. So basically, the right way of calling a Black person is to call them like negro. preto. But there's many other words that the Portuguese and that the white people, the dominant class, used to call black people, but to offend them, like neguinho, like mulato, like moreno, which is like giving the credit of the color and trying to whiten, because we had like a huge project of whitening the culture and the country. So everything that was related to black was strictly related to that something bad. And now we are kind of like giving new
Meaning.
Meanings.
significational meanings. Thank you. New meanings for those words. But it depends. Like I can call all of you guys neguinho because I'm also black. I can call you guys preto easily because I'm also black. But
So
if a
preto,
white
for those,
person,
preto means black in Portuguese. So just for
yeah,
people
yeah,
listening.
yeah. Like you can sing like informal dogs. You may see negro instead of preto. You can see many different ways. It depends on the situation. It depends on what exactly is the demand, you know. But basically, our way of calling someone who is black doesn't matter if it's a light-skinned person or a dark-skinned person. It's negro, preto, you know. But it depends on the context and how you say that. It's
So
full of variations, I guess.
is negão and nega is all are
There's like slang.
pejorative or
Yeah,
those?
there's many slangs.
So those are have a negative context or
It depends from who says that.
okay.
Like if a white person says that, oh wait, it's like nigga. You know,
Yeah.
we between each other we call each other nigga easily, but you won't see that on newspaper on the news, like someone saying, "Oh, a nigga something," because it's obviously racist on that
Yeah.
context. But still, in Portuguese, we have variations for words to call someone negro. I feel comfortable being called negro. I feel comfortable being called black. I don't feel comfortable being called mulatto, moreno, because that means that this person is just following the construction of whitening the country. Because we had a project to whiten the black culture and the black concept of blackness, and it can be easily pejorative. But I think the right way of saying to me is preto negro.
So what's pardo?
Pardo, I think it's something that should be eradicated. It's my personal opinion. Pardo
So
is
does that
paper.
mean mixed? What does pardo mean?
There's like
Pardo
a
is,
clear skin. He's a black guy, but he have a clear skin.
I
Yeah,
would say
he
that
looks
it's not a
like
black guy. I would say that it's like someone that people are not sure if they are black
Yeah.
or not.
yeah.
You know, I've been called pardo from my young age, and after the like my nose and my lips showed up where I come from, people stopped calling me pardo. And if someone call me pardo, I feel the obligation of correcting them, like saying, "Hey, no, I'm sorry, I'm not pardo."
So when you pull down your pants, are they like, are you pardo or now you preto?
I didn't understand. I didn't understand.
Perfectly, that's perfect. Oh, Thiago entendeu?
Não entendi.
Now
O
I
Thiago
said,
estava falando. Oh.
Não entendi o que o Ana falou.
I said that he said pardo means like if you're not sure if you're black. And then, so I was like, so if you pull down your pants, will we know if you're pardo or will you be preto?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So Junior said he's preto. So you heard it first.
I don't know, maybe it's not the great way to say this. But you talk about Afro-American and these things, but I think that here in Brazil, we don't have a common sense about the African descendants in a cultural way, you know. You know that we have connection with Africa, of course, but we don't have clearly and instantly, or how can I say that? How can I say that? We don't. The most of people, but here in my neighbor don't say, oh my gosh, I'm African. It's the Africa culture. This, oh, it's about Africa. Maybe in Bahia, because we have a lot of connection. We have a lot of connection. But here we don't, okay, but I'm not Africa. We say favela. I think the favela is something blackness, is something African. So we say, I'm from favela, but nobody gonna say, I'm from Africa, I'm African. Nobody say, I'm feeling that I have a lot of connection of Africa. We have a connection about music, religion, but I'm from favela. You know, it's the culture that we most talk about. I don't know if Daniel can correct me or say something about
For
this.
sure. And we don't have this clear vision about ethnicity. So I'm from what country of Africa? We don't say the country, we say Africa, like a big
We
thing.
lost it.
So that's a point. We lost it. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We just
But
don't know.
in the same time, we have a lot of sessions because here in Salvador, you have the Candomblé, you have the Ile House. There's an organization that is the, oh my gosh, how can I say? How can I can explain Ile House? Can you talk Daniel? Because in the Ile, we have a lot of black guys that really connected with the African culture, and they have another perspective about the borders and their culture. But in the Liberdade is the most black neighborhood in Salvador, in the most black city in the Brazil. We have a place that you're gonna meet some people that have a most connection, that they have another perspective about race, and there we have is yeah, it's what you have here. It's about people that fight a lot in the past and do in the local something about this.
Okay, my next question is, if someone can briefly explain what is Lava Hasa or Watch the Race, and then go into detail, what do you think the impact today on Black people because of that? So if someone can just briefly explain what Lava Hasa, and then also the effect of that today.
I'm not sure if I understood the question, so I'm going to let my friends answer that. Or you can
And talk
rephrase
about
it.
the whitening process here
Yes,
in Brazil.
like how did it start? Like what was it exactly? And then what do you think the effects of it are today?
I can say that. Go ahead. I'm fine.
Recently, I was listening a podcast that is created by Mano Brown, a huge artist that we have here in the hip hop culture, and they are talking with a specialist in the theme of ethnicity and race about the movement that we have here, talking about after the abolition, what the government of Brazil did. They bring to here people for another country. There are Italian, German, and etc.
Japanese.
And Japanese a lot, and we have some laws, and we have this document that states that turn the population of Brazil a white is a project. We have law about this. We have movement. We have investment to do this. The
It's a
dream is
state-owned
that
project.
we don't have. Yes, the dream was that one day we won't have Black people here in Brazil anymore. So this is real. This exists. This have a lot of money invested, and the movement that we have in against it was the resistance. That the we don't have this. We are Black. We exist. We are in many places. We are in the country. The Brazil exists basically because of us. So that's a movement against it. But after the abolition, For sure, there's a movement that dream with this, with no black people in Brazil anymore.
Was a government movement. There's a government movement to do this, and a government movement that watched the black heroes in the fight to the black freedom. We have a lot of black guys that did, a lot of black guys in government, a lot of black guys and the poor class, and it just right now with this representative wave that I have, that I'm hoping that it's not a wave, it's not about a wave, but a new moment in this history that we have talks about Dragão do Mar is a black hero, about how can I say, a lot of guys that fight against the washed and the fight to the black freedom and liberty. But you know, we have a famous paint here called a benção. A benção, the blessed, is about a family that they clear the skin. We have a grandmother, a father, and a son. And the son is white. 3 years ago, I was with my black neighbor. She is black. And she was talking about me that, oh, look for my I don't know.
Grandson.
Look for my baby. He's so beautiful. He's white. The people jealous me.
So this is what I want to bring up. Multiple people, I have a friend, she was telling me that her grandma told her dad not to marry a black woman. And I heard multiple times that there's black people that parents were encouraging their kids not to marry black, but to marry white. Is this true? Is this common? And what are your thoughts about this?
Very common. It's very common. It's very common. It's very difficult to talk with black about blackness and racism because the government did it. Here, the government did it. It's not a success project, but a lot of people think, and to be clear, and to be, we have the discussions about the loneliness black woman. It don't have the black gay too, because we don't have romance or love to black guys. Here is very difficult because a lot of researchers say, I heard a lot of black researchers saying that here what the government planning, they did it. We was not with a lot of success, but hey, they did it. And now you have to discuss with our cousins, with our parents. Hey, it's racism. Please don't do this with you. Please don't do that. Don't say that. Please, we have to do a lot of things. It's a complicated process that we live in here. I don't know if you or you or Danielle think another thing, but I'm very worried about this. How much we will learn, how much you see the things, oh my gosh, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. In the same time, we have the resistance. We have Oju, we have me, we have Ileaye, we have, it's not that something like linear, but what we have in this space is very problematic. We have a lot of things that, okay, you can take that and whoa, we can do something with that. But there are a lot of things that think, oh my gosh, people, stop to do this. I'm always discussing with my father. Sometimes I say to Danielle, did you hear my father say about black woman? My father is a black guy with a lot of privilege because he's a little bit more clear and he's very hygienic, fair, and oh my gosh, I'm not gonna steal your purse because it is what the people think about the African culture and favela culture and other things. But okay, I just say a lot.
So how do you think that plays out? I mean, I think this is very interesting. How do you think this plays out within relationships and dating, and specifically to like gay black relationships? How does this anti-blackness, if we're told that whiteness is that, like you have grandparents and adults saying that you marry white, how does this play out in gay relationships?
That's a tough question.
I don't know if I understand. We're not talking about what is
The
work in our
intersection.
relationships, in gay
Inter,
relationships, in our gay
it's like
relationships.
interracial. He's talking about interracial relationship among gay community. Am I wrong?
Or just like, yes, just how does because basically we're talking about anti-blackness. So the removal or separation or distancing from blackness, and blackness equating blackness with bad, evil, ugly, and all this stuff. So how does that play a part? What does that look like? How does that play a part in relationships? And like you're trying to date somebody, like do black people do black people want to be black?
Palmetagem.
Huh?
I don't
We
know.
are talking about palmetagem.
Eu acho que ele tá
I think we are
perguntando
talking
como
about...
eu não entendi assim, eu entendi que ele estava perguntando como são as relações mesmo da gente.
Amigo, ele tá falando sobre palmitagem. Como é que a gente encara a palmitagem na
What
comunidade?
is palmitagem? Please explica.
Palmitagem. Palmito is part of a palm tree that is like, if you open up the palm tree, you're gonna see like some sort of root that is totally white, never gets dingy or something like that. It's white. So it's something like people who.
So in English, we call it Oreos. It'll basically be the same in English, American.
Yeah.
Black on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah, but no, what I'm talking about is not that. It's like black people who in the gay community also who engage to a relationship with a white person, they are called palmiteiro, which is someone who likes the white, you know?
Yeah.
And most of those people actually, they usually just date white people. That's why they are called that way. So I think the interracial relationship between gay people in the 10 years ago is completely different from what we see about that these days.
How so?
Because in these days we're more schooled about race. Like in the last 20 days, more black people went to the university and got schooled, and so the racial topic became more present on the black community and also in a gay black community. So yeah, you're gonna see more like black and white couple together, and you won't feel like, oh, that's not that offensive as a straight interracial couple, because in the end of the day, a gay couple are not provided of a lump to procreate. So from that couple, we are not whitening that family. We are not whitening the culture, the community. And I think it's easier for a gay community to get along and be okay with an interracial relationship more than in a straight in the straight community, because in the straight community it also makes us remember of this estatal project of whitening the culture. In Brazil, we had in the time of the freedom freedom we got, much more black people in this country, and they didn't wanted for us to be the majority. So yeah, just rephrasing what Thiago and Daniel said, it's like governmental project to make black people and black men and black women to get engaged with white people, so the country could start to be more white, you know? So I think it's uglier for straight people than for gay people in this sense of like creating another community of mixed people that will become white at some point in history. It was like a project that failed, I'm an example of it because I'm a result of this. My mom is white, my dad is black, and I did not turn white. So it's like they thought that the stronger um, ethnic, ethnical white people would be whitening easier the people, and it didn't work. So after that, after this failure, they understood that it's not about mixing the people in here. It's about bringing, rephrasing what Thiago and Daniel already say, bringing another communities of immigrants from Europe, from Asia, white, yellow, would be more acceptable to be in this country. And they got what we call codes, like what we are demanding for our community, for the Black community, these white people already received in the past. So the country could become more white. The Italian community, the German community, the Japanese community, they got sponsored to be here. They received lands, they received like easier ways in the bureaucracy to do whatever they needed to do. And in the other hand, the Black community was marginalized and pushed away from the center, pushed away from the agro areas, pushed away from everywhere. That's why we have more Black people in favelas, in communities.
Yeah.
And it's something that happened in Bahia very strongly, and it happened in Rio too. And but still, they are failing on it because now we are being educated about this topic, the colorism, the race, the Black culture. This is something that we've been talking since the 60s. But now, the last 10, 20 years, it's something that it's a topic. It's a huge topic. So the entertainment, the TV, the newspaper, the marketing, the publicity, they are all engaged to make the Black community to be seen as part of this country. In the end of the day, the difference between America and Brazil in proportion of Black people is huge, because in America, if I'm not wrong, like just 15 or maybe 17% of the people are Black.
14.
Instead, at 14? Okay, so in Brazil, I think it's around 50 to 60. So it's more like the majority. So it's a project that the monarchy started, and then from the whole history, we try, like the leaders tried to keep this project on, but it failed. And now the project is to basically kill our community in any sense, because they understood that. And that's why the movie that he brought up is so interesting to watch, because it makes you understand that, yes, Brazil always wants or does not ever want to integrate the Black community in the Brazilian culture, even though the Brazilian culture is Black. You understand? I preach it a little bit.
I was watching TV yesterday with Daniel, and it was repaired. We was seeing, and the first time a Black journalist with Black. I am in the most Black city.
Wait, you said the first time you've seen a Black journalist?
With a black.
Clown, the Black clown.
In the last two years.
No, it was an anchor for the newspaper. It was the
But
first.
with the Black,
There was never the anchor. The anchor is white. In the last 30 years in my life here in Salvador City, we don't have more than one Black journalist. Was in the 3 years ago that the most principal TV station was contracting news journalists, Black journalists. So now we have the white genocide that for Black journalists, but we don't have the most of the journalists are not Black. The most of the politics are not Black. The most of the doctors are not Black. I don't know one Black doctor in Salvador City.
What's the percentage of Black people in Salvador? What would you say the percentage of Black people?
Majority.
I'm gonna Google it. Just a moment.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, Thiago and Daniel too, but I think that Salvador, by example, is the city that has more Black people in the world after Africa. After like beside Africa, the place that has more Black people in the world is in the capital of Bahia.
Yeah, Daniel say 81% annual. So in Salvador,
wow.
we have something to talk about race and class because we have a lot of Blacks in Salvador. But if we don't have a lot of Blacks in the most
High
great
position.
jobs, high positions, because race and class is together. And in the love too, because we have a lot of discussion and palmitagem, because we Negros with study and great jobs have difficult to found Negros to do with us because as Negros, Black guys did college and great job. So, okay, I'm gonna be romantic with a white because I wasn't learned to be romantic with a white guy. So no.
It's also it's just like getting a green card. It's like a white card, you know?
Yeah, white card. The one the white card is another thing. Me, Thiago, I don't know you, Ojo, and I know a lot of Black guys. The most we don't want to be in love with a poor guy. Do you know? I'm not talking about, oh my gosh, I'm classist. I'm the worst people of the world. I'm saying that we learn to love another guy with the same class to us. We do want to love, and now we have a problem to discuss about love, about how we love, because we don't see it. Oju, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We just
I'm agreeing.
Oju, I just met a guy, a worker yesterday. Real love? No. I want to allow it. I don't want to allow it. They don't know me. I don't want to allow it. I don't want to just
allow it.
Advogado. Don't want this.
Lawyer.
But we have a problem. We have a problem that we have to discuss about permutage, about class. Because I think that the permutage discussion is very present in our bubble. I cannot say this.
Yeah, bubble.
Bolha in our
bubble or bubble. It's understandable.
Bubble, because we are in different places here, but we are the same. We are in different places, but we are the same. You know, Daniel, we studied. This is a bubble. You know, it's not a lot of people in this bubble here in Brazil. So we have a lot of discussion when Thiago, Daniel, oh, you're gonna marry a white guy because they want to be, because they learn to love a white guy, and they don't want to love a black poor guy. They don't want to love a black guy that is not looks like the Michael Douglas, the guy, the only black beautiful guy in this world, because it's the only how can I say the guy? Please, Daniel, say to me.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. They don't want to.
The pattern, the only black guy.
We have to talk about it here. We have a lot of difficult, because you know what they want about black guy. They want to, oh my gosh, a macho man, and I think that the most of black guys, they don't feel oh my gosh, how can I say that, good about to be feminine, because it's like the color, are you calling to be macho or something like this?
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems in the discussion. Pantage it's not it's not something simple, you know. It's about, I don't know about you, I know Daniel, but in my childhood, I hate me because I was black and I was gay and I was black gay, because it's like, oh my gosh, nobody gonna love me. The white guys, gay guys, always loving themselves and himself because please sorry, but I think that the most of the white guys love each other for narcissism. Oh, look at me, look me there, another bar. Are gonna love me. You know, I think this is very, very, very. I think that we have to do something. I know, discuss palmitas in one meeting. It's not something. It's not one
Okay,
topic.
we can talk about palmitaging hoje. Wait, okay, so
Let me
I want to
understand
know
something.
what
What
are
is the
your
topic today?
the
Let me
topic
just
is
understand.
basically
What is
about being gay and black in Brazil. And so we
Okay.
want to know, so basically it's to get an idea of what is it like to be gay and black in Brazil? What are some of the things that you deal with? Palmitagem is one thing. It's like, what is this sex relationship? There's all these things about these components of a gay life that we want to know, but the experience in Brazil and like to see in ways in which we connect and in ways in which we are different. And so I think
Got it.
with this, I would want to know, I kind of want to hear personal stories that you guys experienced with palmitagem or how you guys felt. Have you guys been rejected, or is it like you go in specific areas? I don't know if it's specific areas in the city or specific club where you know it's only the black guys with the white guys, or what is it like?
I've been married. I've been in a relationship with a white guy, and he was definitely white. He was not Brazilian, and from a Jewish family, and Jewish from like Europe, like Ukraine, and how is it called? Poloni
Poland.
country. So it wasn't like a choice. I never really like have a specific taste on people. I like people. So I found this white guy, this big, like traditional white guy, very interesting. Then I started a relationship with him. What I understood is first, most of my black friends reject that, and they were like leaving me out on the context that is related to the black community. So if you get engaged to a relationship with someone that is not black, and if you're black, probably the black community gonna be rejecting you a little bit because it's something ugly these days. Second of all, what I understood, not just from my experience, but from other people's experience, and from what we can hear and read and see on TV also, is that, and it's a fact, is that once you're black, you don't have access to many things. But if you have a white companion, a white partner, it's like it's delusional, but that's how it had been happening. It's a way of accessing places and status that the black people cannot access. So I see a lot of people that get in a relationship with a white person so they will feel more comfortable to be in a restaurant with a white person than with a black person. You understand? It's very much cultural. And I think it does also reflects this governmental project of whitening our community. They also wanted to whiten our heads, our thoughts, our mind. So I think it's more related to the social thing, like to have a white person on your side that will be like making your presence more legit, whatever you are. Because even if you are black and rich, you're gonna suffer racism. You're gonna suffer everything that black people does suffer. We have like experiencing famous people from sport, from music. Pelé himself, he is like millionaire, and he everybody knows him. He's like a hero. He's like a football king, but still he faces racism. And this way of treating black people in Brazil makes black people think that they're gonna be less exposed to those things if they are between white people. and many relationships, even though it's not something that they have in their mind, but it's, once again, it's cultural. So it's like more, you can go to the philosophy and the sociology to understand it better. But like making long story short, uh, it's also a card. It's just like people who get married to American to get access to America, you know, to get access to a possible easier way of living.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like a white card. Like
yeah.
palmitagem, it can be seen as a like in parallel to the green card. It's like a white card. You know, it's like something that
You
you can guarantee your existence in the places and situations that the black people usually are refused.
you used to think you used to think like this, was you in your
Huh?
relationship. You may mesmo que tenha sido inconsciente. Did you think
I'm not. Fala em português, porque eu não entendi nada.
mesmo que tenha sido inconscientemente, você pensou que sua relação com este rapaz teria sido também essa chance de você viver num lugar melhor, de estar num lugar melhor?
Eu tive essa chance por minha conta própria, porque assim, no
Ah.
fim das contas, eu estudei em dois lugares
Can you
diferentes
explain
fora
it
do
in English?
Brasil.
Please.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. Okay,
Forget
I'm talking about
the
um,
English.
I
I'm talking about
experienced
his
that.
relationship with this white guy.
I'm gonna tell you the two experiences I had. To one, I went to Italy to study and work. You know, like almost 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. And then I accessed for being a student all the white places and all the places that I couldn't access for being black, I was being able to because I was studying history of art. And then like everything that we won't see a black person in, because also Italy is not black at all, it's mostly white. I got access from my own, by my own, you know, from my own experience. And it was hard because I was alone. And can you imagine being like a crowded place full of, I don't know, 30,000 people, and I was just the only black person there, you know, alone with other white people, friends, whatever, but still alone. On the other hand, the experience of being in Israel, I went there to study too and to finish my research. And I started to work. And then I met this one and started this relationship with this one. And this one is the like most traditional white person that I ever saw in my life. And I understood that people respected me more when I was with him. Without him, I was facing way more racism,
I didn't
way
hear.
more.
When what? When what?
When I was with him,
respect more.
when I was
with him.
like when I was
Respect.
with this.
I
Sorry?
understand this. Eu entendi essa parte do respeito, Ju. Eu só não entendi, tipo assim, as pessoas me respeitam mais quando
When I was with this white person. You know, it's like, you understand, like people will think that you're more legit because you're not just a black person who is there. You're a black person, but you have a white person with you. So for the white person, they will give you credit. You understand?
But
that's
here,
what palmitagem is, basically.
Here we have this.
Yes.
We have this.
Yeah. I was thinking that I moved from Salvador to São Paulo 3 years ago. And there I feel more this point of the difference in the sexual relationship. With some guys, I clearly noticed that it's not about me, Daniel. It's about a black guy only. And could be you, but could be another black guy. I don't care. I want a black guy in this sexual relationship, and there's no subjective who you are, what you feel, what you think. I don't care about it. So it's a thing that I noticed there, and it hurts me a little bit because it's uh, how this is
It's an
happening.
ugly
What is
feeling.
happening here? Yeah, so it's very difficult, impactful when you realize that you are just a body. And we use it to think about this. We hear about this when woman tell us his feeling about be an object to a man, and but this happens to us too, in this case being a black man, being a gay black man. So that's a point that I was remember here, and it's happens a lot.
Yeah. There is also
Another,
the fact that the Brazil does not, at least Brazil does not see black gay couple as family. So it's
yeah,
about family, the concept of family. You know, if
yeah.
it's like a female and a male, then it's a family. Then it's like the possibility of a cultural statement. You know, once the gay community is already seen as nothing but, you know, a mistake on the
Another
society.
Another thanks, Guy, to your speeches because I'm very sensitive about what you say, what you about Daniel say, and I was thinking about self-esteem and love. And I don't know if you feel this, I know Daniel, but
Yeah,
when I meet some white guy, it doesn't matter what guy, I just think that he was loved by a structured white family. She have he have another structure, emotional structure that I think that inside of me I desire and I wish, and I think that I don't have, so I have a problem. So when I think that I fight against that, but I don't know if all of you fight against this, but I think, oh my gosh, I don't have this, and so good, how good is to be loved by a white guy, a white man, because he have a love that I don't have inside of me. And when I'm saying this right now, I'm remember Bell Hooks, and Bell Hooks talk about this. She say the black people have to know that we have another structure, a violence structure that hurt him, hurt today, that make him self-hate him. So a meeting with a white guy is transpass about this. You have to think about this. Now I'm in love with a black guy, and I think that what I use to fight against this is talk about what I do to building my self-esteem, it's to practicing in building my love, because we have a conception of love that we have to building another conceptions to fight against him, to concorrer, não sei como eu diria concorrer, but run and, uh, and bring this concept, this conception. Do you understand me? What I'm talking about? Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I understood. I
Uh,
understood.
it's very difficult to me to say to a black guy, "Hey, don't love a white man," because I don't have love to to give to him. So at the same time, I see the low self-esteem, all the structures is a very sensitive discussion.
And do you guys feel that it's very common within Brazil to have sort of I guess blacks having low self-esteem in regards to who they are and um, I guess I'm wondering, how does that play out? Like, okay, which we're talking about interracially, but now within Black race, how do you think that insecurity plays out, and what does it look like within Black relationships?
I don't know if you understand.
Okay.
I was thinking that it depends in the context that you live it. For example, I have some cousins that was born in a black family, live with a black community, and this process of building the self-esteem of this group is different. For us, me and Tiago, we lived in a more mixed um, group. So was in a black family, but my college was totally white, and I have to be in these two places in two worlds every time and understand who I am. I'm like this or not. So I think in this context, the construction of the self-esteem of black people is harder in this aspect of the blackness of being black. Uh, I was remembered that my grandmother, there is black too. She tells to me, "You are ugly. The you are not beautiful like them. You are not good like them. You have to be more polite. You have to be more study and things like this." And this was my mentality until I arrived in the university, and there I started to change my concepts about self-esteem and what I am, what's beautiful, and why I think this is beautiful and the other things isn't. So in my experience, I live this. Assim, I and I don't have my self-esteem constructed on being black. This is not a point to me. It's about, oh, you study, you are polite, you are. Uh, we say here that you are black with a white soul. That's a self-esteem that we build here, but not about being black with a black soul. This is not a thing to be elogiated and being good. So it's a very hard and difficult process. I start to rebuild my self-esteem when I arrived to the university, and then when I found a psychologist, there are he is a black man, a black gay man, and um, they told me this is not about you, it's about the races. Is there's big things that we have here, and then I start to change my mind and things go on. But it's a hard, very hard process to build this self-esteem about being a black gay guy here in this context.
We
Yeah,
have
no,
I think that we have a fight against the whites every day, every time we are saying, "I'm not you, I'm not you." The white guy is just white. He have a white customs, white culture, but our black guys are saying, "I'm not white. My culture is this. I'm not white. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not culture. I'm not white. I'm not. I'm not loving like a white. I'm not famous. But what is be black out of this, out of this conflict? What is be black? What's being what is love myself? What out of this that building me,
yeah.
that sadly building me.
And it sucks that like every country, every culture, I mean, like every place where Black people are, we have to deal with this. And it's like, it's overwhelming at times. And so I find like, for me, the only place that is like a refuge is finding Black spaces and seeking out those Black spaces. So I guess what I want to know is, what are the are there gay Black spaces, and what are those spaces like? Like, is it common or is it not common? Like, if you're going, are there like Black clubs, or do you have to go to like general clubs and meet a Black guy? Where is your safe space? Is there a safe Black gay space in your city? You can talk about Salvador. Daniel, you're in Salvador as well, right? Salvador and Rio. So yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave this question for my friends from Salvador, because I think in Salvador is way stronger, like this concept of community, and we are kind of starting it in Rio. It's something new to Rio, honestly. Like it's my personal thought about it. But I think Salvador has, because Salvador is basically the blackest city in Brazil. So I think it was more urgent to deal with these topics, just to explain and introduce my friends.
We have the Bicha Preta concept. Do you know the Bicha Preta?
Bicha Preta concept.
What's
Bishop
that?
concept
The black
is
flag, the
not a
black flag concept.
Oh,
it's not simple. It's not black gay. It's a black bishop
Fag.
black
Yeah.
flag. Black flag. Here we have a lot of place to black flags. We have Paredão do Paulilo is a party to black flags.
Yeah.
We have a 2 or 3 parties.
Bate-cu.
And Batchku, we have the Batchku. Maybe I know.
But you from Bahia. It's from São
It's from
Paulo.
Bahia. It's from Bahia.
It's from
Batchku.
Bahia.
yeah, it's from
Bahia.
Bahia.
Of
It's from
course.
Bahia. The,
I always thought
Baianos are the creators, but
Bahia.
Chapetas, but I don't know if we have a strong place. I have my friendships, and I know that in the straight place we have a Bishopeta Black Fags place. We have in the pagode, samba, a black fags groups. We have in the parties black fag groups, black gays groups. But in Salvador is more stronger than ever. As 6 years ago, starting this, 7 years ago, with Batchku and another parties, and now we have a strong process of black parties and black discussions and balls. We have a balls now here. Balls. We have how can I say that? The Afro Baffle. Do you know Afro Baffle? Afro Baffle was in vogue years ago because the video.
I'm going to move to Bahia. I just accepted from this
Yeah.
conversation. I'm moving. I'm leaving this
It's
city.
very racist.
I'm so sorry.
Take care of you. Take care of you.
Yeah, let me take care of myself. That's the perfect place for that.
Yeah, we have beats. Pra não falar puta aqui. We have we have a place near of the sea to the Gamboa Beach.
Oh, that's the beach where all the
Porto
black
Barra.
people go, right?
Porto de Barra Beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a good place. We have barber shops. We have a gay barber shops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a gay barber shops. You know,
Are there
black
any
barber
gay
shops
black
there?
clubs? Are there any clubs or bars that are black gay?
No. How can I say paredão, Ju?
Paredão, it would be like a strong big wall.
A strong big
But it
wall.
has
A
like a
strong
cultural concept. It has a black, it's like a concept. for the
paredão is a party in the street with a sound,
Like baile
loud
funk.
sound in the street.
Yeah,
No,
because
no.
they put the speakers.
No, it's not
Sorry.
baile funk.
Like, but it's in a open space, and we have
Yeah.
a car with the big
Yeah.
Speakers.
sound speakers, and the party just existed like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this. I'm very happy with what we have in Salvador. I don't go out a lot, but I know if I want, I have this place. 10 years ago, when I was a young gay black guy, I was in San Sebastian, white parties. It just this. We have a lot of black, so we had black guys in party, but not a lot. Now we have a party with it, black identity.
Yeah. So Junior, what is it like? What are the black spaces in Rio? I mean, we were just talking to Marlon. Marlon's YOLO party, that's like, isn't that black gay space?
Yeah, it's like the last 10 years, like we always had ghetto happenings. Like, but it was something like ghetto. It was something hidden. Beside Carnival, which is like a black party in the end of the day, we had like small parties that were hard to access in favelas, in like areas, marginalized areas. It used to happen, like always happened. But now, once again, after the Lula government and people got schooled, mostly black people got to be schooled, and that's why it's so important. Education is so important because it's an environment of the developing also those ideas and having structure to make them done. So we had some parties that just started to happen in the last 15, 10 years. We have a few black spots, we have a few black bars, we have a few black clubs, but still it's a few.
Oh, you
It's
have
not
black
like
gay
a
bars?
lot. Yeah, we have, by example, a new bar that was just open, if I'm not wrong, in the beginning of this year or the last year,
Is it in
which is like
Madureira?
Bar do Seu França. No. It's in center. It's in Lapa. It's called
Oh,
Bar
wow.
do Seu França. And the guy who made it the guy who created it was the guy from Big Brother, Rodrigo França. Rodrigo França is a black guy who works strictly with the black culture, and he decided to open a black bar because even if that Lapa is majoritarily black, like from the public that goes there and the environment itself, there wasn't a black bar in Lapa, like one of the most famous locations to have fun in Rio didn't had it. But still, samba is a black thing. So everywhere that samba happens, it's like a black event. But the black event as a concept of black happening, it's something totally new, and it's growing fast.
Interesting. Okay, and so in both cities, how do guys meet? Do they meet at these parties? Do they meet? What apps do they use? Is it Grindr? Is it Tinder or whatever? How do gay black guys meet in Brazil?
Everywhere, bro. Everywhere,
Everywhere.
every fucking where. Where we have the opportunity to get together. I really knew that. I just understood that from the carnival. Like black people enjoys to be where they are, to whatever they can do, to flirt, to fuck, to have a drink. So because we don't have, like, by example, a gay club related to the black community. I'm not sure. Mostly are straight parties that, of course, the gay people join, but we don't have, like, beside YOLO, which is also not necessarily like a gay event. It's more like a black event.
But
There's a lot of straight people there. But it's made from a gay black guy, yeah. But it's not a gay event. It's more like a pop, Afro happening than anything else. Marlon can correct me, but that's the concept I get from going there.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
I think that here is the same. Tinder. I used to go to Instagram.
What do you guys use
Place.
Instagram?
Great place for it. You how can I say that? Curti in English. You just
Like it.
like it. Three three pictures. Okay. Where you live.
Yo, Instagram is the new
Yeah.
Tinder, new
I think
Grindr.
the Instagram is very secure.
Instagram is a mix of Grindr, Tinder, Scrub, and all the fuckers that. Yeah, basically,
Yeah,
like
the best
people
place
use it
because-
in this purpose to show skin, to show their own body. Of course, they're gonna be replied on sexual matters, just like in the other apps, you know.
Yeah.
And most people just do not understand, just does not understood it yet. So all
It's the
they are
most
there.
secure. I think
Yeah,
it's
because
secure,
you see
can-
much more. Yeah, but it's a new Tinder. Grinder, it's done. It's
the
gone.
new Tinder. The Tinder is the new
Tinder,
grinder. Grind
fuck
is
Tinder.
over.
Instagram is the place to, is the you're going to see the history of someone, and okay, there's someone wearing underwear, so you're gonna hit up with a fire, and the person will reply, "Oh, you're available. Let's have a drink tonight." It's basically what happens in the relationship apps. So it's just about like being smart and using it properly.
So how did Thiago and Danielle, how did you guys meet?
Tinder.
Tinder.
The
last
actual
time-
But
The
But
last time
Tinder.
I went to meet someone, it was on Grindr. And now I think that I'm not going there anymore. Maybe I should stick, if I need to Instagram, because it does work better than anything else.
I found that when I was there, it was hard to. It could have also been where I was, but it was hard to meet Black guys on like Grindr or Tinder. So I think that's what was like really a little bit annoying. It was really hard, but also it could have been like the area I was in. Like in the States, we have all the Blacks use this app called Jacked, and so it's because you can filter by
How
race.
is it called, this app?
Jacked.
Wait. Black community in America uses what?
Jacked. They use Grindr,
Jacked.
but
I'm going to take a note.
the app is because you can filter by race, and a lot of Asians use it as well. But that's because it's basically you see basically only Black people because you can filter it. So it was a lot easier. So I remember being in Brazil. I'm like, damn, where are the Black guys at? It was just so annoying. And then I was staying in Zona Sul, and I felt like a lot of the Black guys there weren't into Blacks. So that was a whole different other
How does
story.
it call it once again? I just wanted to know the
I'll type it.
icon. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if they might use, I don't remember if they used it in Brazil, really. I mean, maybe a few people.
Jacked.
But,
Got it.
yeah. Okay, something also I'm curious about is what are you guys' thoughts? Because Brazil is known as sort of a sex touristy place. What are you guys' thoughts about foreigners coming?
Sexual tourism?
Yeah, sex. What are you guys' thoughts about foreigners in general who come to Brazil for sex?
I think it's, in one hand, stupid, and another hand, an opportunity to exchange culture. Because it's like, I know people who went in those apps just to make new friends that could show the city. I have like friends of a friends that comes here just to try the flash in the location, you know? And just like people travels in the world to try the different food, the different environment, the tourist points, people became a product in those apps. So it's a way of accessing a different product from the place you come from. And I think it's more like related to objectifying people. But on the other hand, I mean, everything could happen. Love can happen from that. Like good relationships can come from this. But most people that I know that come from abroad to Brazil to do sexual tourism, they don't never confess or assume that they are doing this. But in the end of the day, they just spend time in Grindr trying to find people who are gonna make them feel better about themselves.
So what
I'm
do
being
people
very
say-
much like, you know.
Do people say, do you guys talk among yourselves like, oh, these are these foreigners? What do you guys say about foreigners amongst yourselves? Regarding that come there specifically for sex? Is there like something that
I think it's amazing, Anwar. I think it's just amazing that now with the globalization, we are now that Black people are getting to get access to power and then money and then the possibility of traveling, which is beautiful, which is new for the Black culture in general, the Black community in general. It's empowering, right? It depends on what you want to do. You know, with power, power means also responsibility. So I think it's something to build up. In Israel, there is the city called Tel Aviv, and it's the gayest city in the Middle East. And what the municipality, prefeito of there, he did something called a pink wash. He invests money on the Mount of Pride. Even though Israel is a very religious country, in Tel Aviv it's like another world. It's a bubble inside a very Jewish country. they started to understand that the gay tourism brought a lot of money. So they started something like pink wash. Even though they don't like the gay people, they will bring the gay people to bring money. You understand? It's also a way of making it a process. I think
Yeah.
it's happening the same with the Black communities in all over the places. You know? I don't know if I did make sense on the sentence, sorry.
No, yeah, I already, I truly believe that Israel was like a good place to be, to travel, to meet, being a gay man. But then I get this information. It's about Disneyland, but it's a Disneyland in a territory that is not so
That does
friendly like the
not provide
Mickey.
rights for the gay people, does not provide resources for the gay community, because the gay people in Israel, they suffer like a lot, because most of them come from religious family, Orthodox family that reject them. So just like what happens in the ghettos of America, that they were like the families reject the gay people, and mostly the Black gay people. They needed to create some sort of sense of community among themselves. And yeah, there is like a strong community of gay people in there. And from that, the powerful people understood that they could get advantage on it. They don't provide rights, they don't provide a better life for them, but they took advantage. And I think it's basically the same on the sexual tourism. It's like people coming from abroad to take advantage on our beautiful big Black dicks or beautiful big booties to just like, you know, have fun. Just like going to Italy and eat pizza. If you go to Italy, you're gonna eat pizza. If you go to Brazil and you have gay Black guy, you're gonna be like, for sure, meeting every fucking day someone different to have sex. Just like to try something new.
What are your
That's my
thoughts?
personal. Okay.
Daniel, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I think it's a complex. It's like what we can say about the sexual desire of these people that have to came to go to another country to have this. I think it's a little bit sad. But what I notice here is that people here in Brazil are very, how can I say, we used to receive these people very well, and do this, like Oju said, that
We are nice.
bring these
We are
people
likable.
to meet, to meet the city. Yeah, we go, of course. I will show you
Actually, been used. If
the
you look,
beach. Yeah,
if you look deep on it, you're just being used, like as a tour guide,
yeah,
as a local friend, and it can become a relationship. I know people who comes that it's completely different from that, and I can call them friends, but still, I can see that in them, you know, somehow.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it doesn't matter what the type of what instantaneously in the how can I say visibly you can the people say that is doing here. I think that I always have something problematic about this, and but I I don't know I don't know
It's complex. It's
it's
very
complex.
complex. You
It's
made a
very
very
complex.
complex point.
I'm reminding me right now of a talk that I have of my friend about Portugal. That Portugal, the people have a lot of problems with Brazilian woman in Brazilian
In
woman
Europe,
in
yeah.
specific. But oh my God, they're gonna steal my husband and have they just want to be here and take what is ours. I was saying if just yeah, it's what they want, and that's all right. They want to live well. They want to live their lives. So, I think the romanticism is a lot of this. A guy that make it your dreams come true. This woman wanted, there was one, the poor woman, and I know a lot of physiotherapeuts Metropolitanas from my city that want to go out, and okay, it's not what you're gonna do, but okay, I understand. You're gonna
It's an
live here.
option.
It's an option. I don't like meet guys that is interested in sexual tourism here in Brazil. I really don't like black guys too. And sorry.
It's horrible
And,
because the black community is basically doing exactly the fucking same thing that the white people did all the history. To go to a colony to explore, to take
yeah.
advantage of.
Oh my gosh.
Because they pay on dollar, pay on euros, so for them it's not that much.
Yeah.
And
It's easy to show up to make pretend that they are something that they are not.
I know a guy that is an important guy that is American, and they go to they went here to do black projects and representative things, but the guy is a, how can I say that? I need a dirty word. Não, meu Deus, idiota, babaca, oportunista.
Opportunista.
Very imperialist, I know. I'm here to back gas. Sorry, and
I don't think, Thiago, I don't think that's an issue.
I know.
We have names. We have names.
Are you American? I hate Americans.
I don't think that.
I hate Americans because Americans. Oh my gosh, I'm black too, but he looks to you like a. How do
Just a
you
little
bother?
bit superficial. No.
How can I pay for you?
I'm gonna defend them also. They are just a little bit superficial. They are just a little bit more superficial when you are more intended to have something deep and something more meaningful. And I think that it's just about a good match. There is a lot of Brazilian people who are just interested in getting a green card or getting like a Gucci or gift.
They are right.
Or like someone to pay their traveling. So it's just about those people who come to find these people and leave us alone. Leave people who does not care about this thing to live their lives and do not fantasizing about a romantic whatever. But if you're coming for sexual tourism, if you're coming to explore, then just make it clear to the people that you're getting engaged with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just about honesty.
Yes.
Just make it clear.
He talk about this with himself. But in this specific case, I'm talking about the guy with a black community discussion with, we are all brothers. And we are not our brothers. I don't know you're not brothers. You're brothers until
there is no sense of brotherhood between the foreigners and the Brazilians.
No,
there's no sense of brotherhood.
You look like a Latin American, né? And I'm gonna use the accent like Latin American. You look my body like, oh my gosh, I'm going to no, Yankee.
So wait a minute. Not only the Yankee, even the black community behaves just like that. If you get access to the public traveling, then you'll be very much tempted to do this, to practice the traveling like that. And I think it's just an illusion that comes from a poor education. Even abroad, the black community does not really got to access good education environments to empower themselves about those situations and how harmful that could be. Because they come, they leave, and then the traumas and then whatever is left behind is left behind. So it's not the issue. The thing that they do most is to make them feel better about themselves and to make people get the illusion that they, the local people, to be delusionated, if that makes any sense, on the possibility of access of what this tourist has.
Get out
the fantasy
of the misery that we have here.
I'm gonna accept this for sake of maybe getting to access what he has, what she has. It's an illusion. And I think I've lived in Italy and I met a lot of black women who met Italian people and traveled to Italy to have a better life. Inês Brasil is one of those examples, you know, it's famous example, but it's more like not about the feeling that they have between each other. It's not really exactly about, it's about business. What they're doing is business. It's like getting someone to provide them a better life because that's all they want. They don't want this like inter whatever. No, they just want to have an opportunity because in this country it's very hard for Black people. So if someone offers you this, of course you're gonna go and accept whatever it is to have to accept, to maybe to fantasize of a possibility of having a better life. And it happens also in Brazil between Black people and white people. It's just the same shit. Like Black people getting to be with white people to maybe access what the white people has.
Sorry, Ojo. I think that
You know?
just right now I understand what you're talking about because I was a little bit confused. My listening is not very well. Are you talking about the poor guys there, out there? They go to here.
Not even the poor guys.
Not
Like
only poor.
everyone who can barely speak poor English and can access a visa easily. I know those people. I've been living abroad and living in Brazil, surrounded by immigrants, surrounded by foreigners, all my life, because everything I did like was related to interchange, cultural interchange, and scholarship between countries. That's how I started to work. So I've been seeing this my entire life. Of course, it's not a rule. It's not for everybody. I think, by example, me myself, I am an exception from this situation because I understood that. I'm not a materialistic guy. I never plan to live in America, for example, or to be someone's concubine in their country. So I've been into relationships with people who has a completely different mindset and cultural informations and character. And I think there's two different situations. There's many, but mostly there is this person who getting engaged to a relationship for better opportunities, like the gold diggers. And there's also the people who are actually like interested on get along with someone different, that can provide a different way of thinking or a different perspective for life. And me personally, I don't do that, like move to another place because someone can provide that, like to another country. It's not one of my goals. I did that before for my own. I think it's actually personal opinion. I don't judge, but I wouldn't be putting myself in this position of using someone else to access something. But that's on the other hand.
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
Thiago, you had something to say?
Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, I have to go.
Okay.
I have to go because I have a job to do. I think that everybody here have a job to do, but I have right now a job to do. Nice to meet you, Ojo. Really, really nice to meet you. I hope that